2025 ESPORTS World Cup. $3 million, one stunning trophy, and a legacy that will forever be forged onto the totem. And so, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming your finalists to the main stage, starting with EDA Esports. Talk Global. Just a finals stage. This is a legacy in the making, so buckle up, because history is about to be written. It is time for the grand finals of the PM.
Every single one of these players, every single one of these teams has the opportunity to strike out at that trophy. Will they do it, though, across the next 3 days? We're about to find out. We're about to get the games rolling. Let the games begin as we start to break down what is going to be going on here for day number 1 of the grand finals for PMWC. Joining me, Seven as well as Maxman, to talk about these phenomenal teams. And we have got ourselves an opportunity to see how it's all going to go down. Let's start with one of the names that really does come to the forefront.
The finals, of course, some time so far. This team starts to drop in very much a northwestern play in Path 2, so Thunder Dogs over towards Camp Alpha. No team like to pick up that position. Alter Ego drops similarly in position, but looks like this time around they're heading out to the east.
Can't wait to see what the form's going to be looking like as well from some teams that didn't have to play.
By no means an easy journey to the top for them.
Let's dial into this fight. Sierra's going down on the ground floor here. We get their POVs. As you said already, it's a rough start for the 4 Fribes. Only a duo remains. Falak in position here. Al-Haji. We saw that lovely content piece setting up the day. Let's see if he's able to give us some of that energy. The excitement, the emotion that he brings to the lobby here in PUBG Mobile. Meanwhile, Rosemary as well, causing issues already there.
Rosemary was a name that we were looking to massively point out here in these finals. Al-Haji with the long range shots here from the DBS, not quite connecting. Noki's got to run off the position as the Molotov comes through, backs them off the alley here, forced them into this building. It's good shepherding coming through from Power.
Vahiden up close, lots of damage onto Noki, leaves him relatively low. It's a DBS in hand, so even if he's low on health, he could still make a play, but easy setup in the back line. Didn't opt to throw out the nade, instead dashes in the molly, burns the stairway out, it's right on target, he's taken out a commission, and now this gets even harder for Falak. Already, this is a brutal start for them in the opening game.
Falak's got to stand tall here, try and go for something a little bit large. At least show them that Hearts In is not free and open right now for 4 Thrives. I think that they're just going to keep dropping this from day to day. I don't think either team wants to give up hearts in here. To find that final play. Now, Falak had a big amount of influence in that group stage for Thrives. Let's see how well he can step up to the plate here versus Power, because you know this team is not going to go for the 1v1s. They're not going to send in like lemmings. That's going to be a very difficult task. S12K though, gets the reload on it. They hear it, trying to bait them out here.
First connection's good. That's Al Haji down. Baited in, looking to see if he could get the follow-up tap off so he could literally remove it from the equation. The second as well. Ooh, wow, that's
a good result. That's a great result. I don't know if they just got into placement point range there, but even so, it would have just been the 1 point anyway. But that does drop Ulterigo from a 4-man down to a 3, and you're losing your main man, Mr. Rosemary. Not always easy. And then again, Alva as well as Krypton have been having a big step up. It is not just the Rosemary show anymore. There's plenty more to this team.
might actually be a good storyline for us in the booth and the viewers at home as well, because that's something we've been trying to hammer home, right? How important Alva's been for this squad. And I think this is the sort of game where this trio can prove, just like Rosemary said, it's not just me, it's the entire squad. We play off each other very well, yes, but if things go wrong, we can still pivot. Crazy maneuvers from Easy there, just before he's taken out, harassing both Ulterigo and Thunder Talks. The push up on the Weibo, finish that off. So E-Arena snatching away the odd point here and there. 4 players alive for that squad as well, Blank. Could be a big talking point later.
E-Arena had been an eye-opening squad in terms of, we saw them earlier, we're like, wow, this not a team we've got our eyes glued to. But the more they've played, the more they've had these moments of success here and there. It's a hard team to pinpoint of whether they're a team that could challenge out for the first place spot, or they're a team that's towards middle of the pack, because some plays are great, other plays not so much. It's hard to, I would say, pinpoint exactly how I feel about E-Arena. But there has been these good games, there has been some strong sweeps, and they're not a team that I think you could completely dismiss.
I think that's really fair. For me, the litmus test has been how Joker's playing as well. Feels like if he's on form, the rest of the squad really gets riled up. Ulterigo still looking menacing. Bit of a chip back over, Skura down. 3 players alive, and Krypton. It's a rough position here on the hillside.
It's a smart one though. Are you playing in front of the rock because you're assuming they're going to be sending those nades over the top of it anyway, because they think you're hiding behind there. If they peeked up, they would have found a clear and easy shot over towards Krypton, but he takes that risk and it pays off here. Now they get the northeast shift on the circle. They know they need to start cleaning out E-Arena soon.
Mormon, the start step round from the side is good for 1. Get the first knock onto Alva, but Krypton and Moana playing off one another. Instantaneous response. Look at the spray down. Joker trapped in position, pinned by the barrage of bullets. You can still get the save onto your mate as well.
Yeah, this is a great time to reset, recalculate here for Ulterigo. They know they've got a prime position inside the circle to play off with the 3 players. Awesome nade from Aaron over the top there. We'll take down Sakura. Perfect airburst on that one as well. Despite everything, it is Ida as well as Ulterigo getting it through to the late game. Good shots from Krypton, keeps going forward. And like we said, it doesn't matter. No Rosemary doesn't mean that Ulterigo's down and now.
I'm loving the fact that he kept the pressure on as well. Whilst the team was trying to reset themselves from the pickup and the heal, he was harassing. So you're still a little bit more paranoid. You can't take the fight to them. Ida have to stay tucked in for now. Rita's incredibly low as well.
For Ida, their big opportunity here is the shack right in front of the hard cover. The Rocks didn't get over towards it. It's big news, and Krypton had to hit that shot over towards Darkin. Now Eren moves up into position, and they find a decent nade over the back. Quite a little bit short here. They have a very strong position now, and that reset you were talking about does hamper them. Yes, Krypton was in position. The rest of Ulterigo weren't quite there to take shots as Ida crossed, and that was the prime time to do it.
Force out the last man. Now you find Doc. Okay, you remove him. Focus up on what's ahead of you then.
This is a good wrap now as well. It means they can play off the back of this hard cover. Again, approaching this position over towards Ida is not going to be easy, especially with the fact that resources utility extremely low on the side of Ulterigo. But what a banger of a first game. 10 eliminations, as well as a chance at a chicken dinner here.
It would be massive for them. Keep keep that energy going from the group stage. Show us that it wasn't a fluke. Chip damage there is going to be monumental as well.
No beds at all. Moana goes down, there is one shot out. Eren very low, and Krypton has to step back into cover.
Rita playing on the back foot, being pushed upon now. The last man, timing is absolutely everything on this, and Alba, we said to highlight him, he's got the DBS in hand, wants to close the gap, looking to harass, and that's how All-Earth Ego do it, straight back, showing us that they've got the talent.
As well as Sosnovka.
Second match.
Naya mentioned Lipovka, Prism, so a little bit of a longer rotate that you're going to have to make, time you have to spend inside the plane. I think for most teams they'll be very, very happy with this kind of playing pattern.
You can see how the standings are looking as well, of course, off the back of that opening game of the playoffs here. For Power, but this could be a little bit cheeky. Fireflux going in, hovercraft gameplay from the side though. Macap instantly falls. He able to hit that one on the crash in.
Fireflux not being able to win this fight is going to be pretty rough for them, because this was their game plan for a long, long time, is to hit up towards this compound, and they've been sent back off this. Good haul coming through from Weibo. Only losing one player in order, but it's not even a flush there.
As well, early on in the day, it feels like sometimes they pull those punches and won't fully commit to play. So it's nice to see, you know, you've committed to an idea that they've been able to make it work.
Yeah.
That fight has gone no way near how they wanted it to go down. Trapped as well as he gets the overall lay of the land with the squads that are close by. He's just got to get his head down, tuck into position. It's Ida from the sideline that takes shots towards him, opens up an opportunity for Nonshin. Alpha with the nade, rolls it on target, and it is a strike from Reefus. Bit of a stalemate from the crash in, only leaving one representative of Power left. It was Weibo that were able to cause issues behind that smoke wall, and then of course Regnum Karo, the compound high ground position as well. The nice split, Silas set up further ahead. Yeah, this is going to get more and more intense. Secret, catching vision.
This is the nice thing about Regnum Karo as well, is that we mentioned it beforehand, where they're a proactive team. They don't allow themselves to be caught up in the moment and just sit around, feet up, watching telly inside these compounds. They are very much active on the outside there. They took shots over towards Alpha Gaming. They cut out over towards that south side. It's not a crazy amount of points they're able to find this game in terms of Elim, just as 3, but they've confirmed a strong spot on that southwest side. Weibo are in front of them, as you've mentioned. I'd like to see how they're going to handle this into the future, because it's some weird terrain that they'll have to push through.
For Yangon, it could be uncomfortable if Secret can actually get the angle to arc those nades over, roll it down the hillside. Spacing could be problematic. That's what you were talking about, of course. Obviously for Weibo, just a few steps ahead, just tucked in. A little bit of cover to work with at least. You've got the detonated vehicles, and it's actually Fahiden that was the last man left for Powder. So he's just over by the tree line there.
It's very, this is why I'm saying, wow, what a shot coming through from Fahiden. A fair chance as well, and he took it immediately. This is what I mean for Regnum Kai. It's very hard, because you want to take shots down towards Weibo Gaming. As soon as you leave this compound, you're in sight lines of Ida going forwards. That next circle doesn't cut Ida out either. So now Regnum Kai has to go for something very quick. They know the exact location of Alpha Gaming though. At this point, it sort of does feel like you're going to need a crash here for Regnum Kai. Over towards that north side, I don't think it's going to be effective at all trying to wrap out over towards the east. Key down though, maybe there's a chance on towards these two players, play behind the car cover, but then what chances do you have later into the game? That's the real issue. So it looks like they are going to roll out over towards this north side, as I was mentioning.
And as we've seen, Ida have been able to do so much from this position. This might actually give them an opportunity. Yeah, Nongshing engaging. Yeah, this is go time for both squads. You've got to build off the back of this. Crash in, up towards the compound. Nade close. Zizzy takes the brunt of the damage. Eren priming another one as well. It's Doc C. He saw him. What's going on? Goes back in for a second look. Finally shuts down Rita.
That was crazy. Silas moving up top there. We'll find Silas. We'll finish him off there as well. I mean, Regnum Kaya just spent all the way up towards Yangon Galacticos, and they were doing damage, but they're out now. What?
You knew about Alpha for so long. The minute an opportunity was presented from the commotion thrown between this fight on your screens, they go for it, but Alpha just absolutely upset. Good by Redman Karia. It's now not a bad position for them to build from.
Not at all. I think Alpha Gaming played a bit of a blinder on that one, but blinding powder up to Regnum Kaya, it would seem. Doxy moves up over towards Ida, finding Darkin, more DBS shots through the window, not quite connecting just yet. There's a Molotov sent through. Murnat will finish off top on an explosion on the vehicle. They are just trying to hold on as much as possible here. And once again, it is Yangon Galacticos to make it through. This team is bulletproof.
You got Team Secret as well, playing that classic slow build, playing from distance, looking to third party onto this one. This elongated bout between Nonshin and Ida. Aaron dodged the explosives, but he can't dodge the slugs. That's the peek up from Doxy. The DBS finally able to finish him off, but at what cost? One player left, just him.
Gives me Yangon Galacticos as well as Team Secret have some very favourable positions going in towards the future. They can effectively sort of ignore one another. Teams that will be making their way up this hillside. I think it's going to be Suk with the bow in hand, just sending shots in, making life extremely difficult for Doxy. He is on the low ground though, and Suk may be just sending in ammo for no reason.
I mean, with 20 arrows left, he could zone you for quite some time. Just make it impossible to go for a peek out.
He's got to leave at some point as well, it's the thing.
Oh, they're getting close.
This consistent bombardment. Doxy's struggling. Now moving forward, Suk will see a nade come his way. A little bit upset about the nades coming down though. Might leave it on. Spots Doxy isn't quite as effective with the assault rifle as he is with the bow. The team will support that, they'll make it happen. Awayable, attempting to move on. It's those two angles. Like I said, it's an efficient I don't want to call it teamwork between both teams, but it's an agreement, right? You both have an extremely strong position. Let's get rid of the teams that could cause problems for us later on before we engage in one-on-one combat.
Yeah, you know to prioritize first. Don't poke the Hornet's nest until it's time to engage. Frankie with the move up. Wow. Damage back over, slapping him there, forcing him into a bit of a rough spot. Three squads going head to head, of course. And Alpha Gaming only have the one man left alive. That's Reefus that's further down.
This has been the second game in a row that Alpha Gaming have been able to get themselves a podium finish with a solo player towards these end circles. He's going to make a break for it. Murnat definitely saw him, was wondering why he went for that play. Murnat had actually pushed off that position as well. It's just unlucky. He comes out at that timing. Triangle will go down.
Shots back and forth, trades on either side. Intensity building. SayCloud looking for the angle. Murnat from further back, able to assist. They can focus fire on Frankie. He's removed, cauterize it and reset. Two players alive, focusing on the pickup as well. Grab Romeo.
I mean, just make it as hard as possible. A 3v1. There's absolutely no way that Jaiki should be able to get himself out of this one. With Yangon Galacticos starting to move up, and the map is enveloped by. Should have probably went on that one, and I think you're right in the sense of maybe they would have done if they'd seen a knock. There were only two, but I think that scenario is you just have to take a chance. And I think for Regnum Kaya, that's what is difficult for them, is that it is very obvious to me right now. It's very obvious to me right now that they're trying for a little bit more aggressive plays, more aggressive maneuvers, but there they were falling back into old habits.
No, they definitely will. They definitely will. Let's see. Maybe you can reset from it, Black. They'll be able to get themselves into a better position to show us what they're made of and what they're capable of. For Yangon, they were certainly capable of greatness into that. Individually, I think the gun skill's certainly there today, playing to their strengths. Not in a bad spot whatsoever. Tied at the minute. This is back over towards our drop fight that we were mentioning, of course. Thunder Talks out with the Tommy, teaching you lessons from distance. Where art thou, Romeo?
I think he should have just kept crawling. I get a moment of, if I stop crawling, maybe he'll miss the shot, or maybe I need to like fake it.
Scary as well for Fireflux as a roster overall, because I think that squad, you know, we were sort of talking about this idea of being able to build your confidence, feed the hot hand, keep that momentum going. They've been hitting dead stops again and again, where it feels like, the floor falls out from underneath them. They're not able to build themselves, not getting too late into these games, and that could come back to haunt them. You're just bullying on the exit as well. They're literally trying to retreat from this, and you still find a second knock into a full takedown on St. Clouds. Wow, that's a bit of a rough start, considering you've just taken your opening chicken dinner.
Up to the neck, over towards Yangon Galacticos with the scar. There's that shot from... it was Rosemary, I wasn't seeing things. But yes, Howard, Zeros is going to step forward. It's a straight shot over towards him, Bernard likely to go out, and Yangon Galacticos after a wall.
And the team that's on your screens now, right? 4 thrives. A lot of debate, a lot of talk about this squad, how they're going to be looking. Amazing in the group stage. What plays can they make right here, right now?
Yeah, it has to be a big refresh coming through from 4 thrives, because these last 2 games have felt hectic. And even now it feels like you could sense the pressure. Look for something a bit more open. There's no way. Okay, I thought he hit him on the barrel roll. I mean, that's still impressive to get it out there and still make that shot happen. But
and I think potentially even change the flow of the lobby. The paranoia that will set in when Smash comes to play. Ragnar here, priming the nade. Alley-oop, over the top. Oh, the bounce on it. Oh, he's been eating nitro for breakfast. Blows them away.
that is
Continuing to attempt to build here. Get themselves into a position where they feel handy with their steal. This was always going to be an issue for Rigo as well on the rotate. You had power ahead of you. They go for the wide berth. Kick off the engagement. Fireflux being able to find damage from the backline. So easy suffering there.
him to end up. Fantastic maneuvers. Again, such a precise when he's on form.
Playing the angle perfectly, but like you say, it's the peaks. Really nicely played for him. Giving himself the cover, taking some clean firefights. Ooh, this might be anything but clean. This engagement, the shot from the side, but the backstab from Silas at least stops it before.
Up slightly, just a little bit to the left. They just found that knock. They explode the vehicle instead. It's Noki moves forward, will knock a grenade of his own, sends it through. Might just be far enough, but they turn tail and run. And sprint they'll have to.
You are so low though. Bouncing around the tree. Redox on the drop, belly on the ground, but it's not enough for the follow-up T24 with that one. And Narvalo is so far away, he couldn't assist for the rest of the squad. He's tucked in for squad, feels the wrath of Regnum Karya.
33Z going down. Now we're in a full-on brawl, likely to spark soon between 4 Thrives as well as Regnum Karya. But it's Horror coming in from that northern edge. T24 immediately passes that information back, and Noki will stand at the forefront as the vanguard versus Horror. IQ playing far back down towards the southeast, trying to gather some information over towards Regnum Karya. And all the while, Noxian Red Force has been living it large inside their mansion, almost.
They're living their movie, sitting pretty. No one's contested them. Really haven't had to do too much whatsoever to get closer and closer towards some sweet, sweet high-end placement points on this one. Falak, though, finally comes unstuck. He's been ripping and tearing his way through everyone in this lobby. But now you've got to play medic if you want to save him. IQ from the side, hits back on the sky, sleeping, closing the gap with the scout in play, bails out the vehicle. The shots connect as well. 4 Thrives losing a lot of their stock on this one now.
As Regnum Karya trying to steal away some of these E-limbs, they will find a couple of Wild will find another knock. Falcons go down to DRX as they try to get involved in this one. But it's Regnum Karya taking that opportunity. It's a perfect opportunity for them to swing round on that southeast edge. They want to clear as many teams as possible. 4 Thrives move back over towards Horror here. And for Regnum Karya, that was a lovely trade for them.
Aura going to be dropping the hoorah as the energy's there. You've still got to contain yourself. Reset from the angles that are in play. Sleepy and No Flare. A split up. Cunabit finding impact back over onto Ida as well. And this story continues. DRX decimating onto Ida. And Noxian Red Force finally. They get thrown a bit of a deathly blow as there'll be a connection back over from Regnum Karya.
handle them, keep them at bay here, and it has to be done as we get through it towards our next circles. Most teams desperate for this one to move away from Noxian Red Force, but will it ever? Directly on top of them, and realistically for a lot of our other teams, they're playing for second now. Noxian Red Force, as aggressive team as they are, will just have to bide their time. They're going to have to sit still and just make sure that blood doesn't thump too hard and they get the signal to send out of the building with the rage that is building.
Getting ants in your pants at a time like this could be the worst outcome for them. You've got to say, I mean, props to Regnum Karya, very proactive heads-up gameplay right now with fights that they've been willing to take. They started slow, but they have not stopped since they found momentum. Nades being thrown back out as well, trying to get that one on target down towards Aura. And DRX ushered further forward, slowly advancing, looking to play off one another with cover. Sleepy in the vehicle makes a move. Ida still getting hit by the play zone as well.
Really could not move at all here. Regnum Karya is trying to slow things down, thinking they're looking for that second place here. They know they need to get the placement as well as the elims. It's tough for them, it's difficult. Aaron, star player coming through from Ida, wanders through onto that western side, will make a quick sweep before making the pit stop on the northwest side of Noxian Red Force. Nade just stopped short there of Horror. Regnum Karya's got a different prey on their mind, looking over towards Noxian Red Force, trying to see if they can find a singular knock before to take that task to them.
Aaron can just keep his nose clean as well. He's got some hard cover to work with the airdrops that are close by, so just tucks himself in position. Straight down the middle. Here's the push-up though from Regnum Karya. Instant engagement from Loxy, who locks on, and Sleepy is down and out. No fear, barely standing tall as well. So much damage done from the engagement.
It's going to be a long nade, by the way. He's sending here. I don't think it's going to go far enough. I think you're best off holding these nades with the initial push that's going to happen over towards Noxian Red Force, and that is good resource control there from Regnum Karya. You can see Wild's got 3 nades, Silas had 6, but they don't want to expend too many here versus No Fear. They definitely have some that are expendable, but they need them if they want to push over. But it's good to know that there is at least a plan in the mind of Regnum Karya of how they're going to assault this building.
Got Aaron as well, throwing out nades on the push-up from Hyunbin. That's what I was saying. He tucked himself into an angle to actually make it kind of uncomfortable. Oh, Noxian Red Force baited into this one potentially, though. Looking for a look over the top of the ridge. Aaron trying to keep himself down. Nades coming in. First's on target. Follow-up's good. Doxy dismantles Ida. They're out of the running now.
There is a slight distraction here through towards Noxian Red Force. I think that Regnum Karya is going to try and play this one out for Zone 9, honestly, and hope that this is not central. I don't think it is, and it will force Noxian Red Force out. But Toshbik sends him first and will manage to get towards the backside here. Noxian Red Force weren't able to control it, and Noxian Red Force, they see red. They move out of the building, and Regnum Karya's picked up position.
DRX are dealing damage and handling themselves up close and personal. For Sononshin, it's going wrong. Binny now with a thin veil of smoke to protect himself, but look at all of the nades. Everyone priming these from the top of the roof, dashing them down. They had such a power play position for so damn long, but the minute they advance, DRX makes it uncomfortable. And Binny, you're living on borrowed time. Regnum Karya, if they find this one, they're setting themselves up for a huge chicken dinner.
10 points on the game and plenty more eliminations to be found here for Regnum Karya. Like we said before, they've been holding on to these resources. They knew the angle they'd need to take. Silas goes down, but not before a nade sent through. Sizzy goes out, and it will be Regnum Karya looking for the big finish here versus DRX Jackie.
They just need that final knock. Convert this one, close it down. The slow build-up. Oh, and that's enough. All it takes, the push-up from the zone, being the 5th man in the lobby for Regnum Karya, as they're able to convert.
Able to tag him for 1, and then Sleepy chefed him up something awful over in the garage there. Only the pistol to defend, and that's not good news.
Could have been scary. Rosemary opposite of AJ from Thunder Talk. Ooh, popped out. That was a great placement, and in fact, it's going to end up in a drop. AJ put
Remnant work early on, full health, mind you. He can truly do a lot of damage to this Alter Egos roster up ahead.
Thunder Talk bolstering their position as well, with King sidling on forwards. Alter Ego trying to pull Rosemary back to his feet there. They are going to put a lot of investment into it, but Moana goes for the nade and flushes his own teammate out. That is not a good start for Alter Ego to try and defend the top spot on the table. And now it's Thunder Talk looking to keep this pace going. All four of them now in situ, and they can play on a numbers advantage. A little bit split for Alter Ego. Alva under a lot of pressure there. The reload needs to come through. Can he connect with the auto shotty?
He stays in the corner, dodging those jump shots, goes for the retreat, and is successful in getting some distance between them, which means he can reposition and fight the duo of Thunder Talk. That fight's still going to be well underway, and he's going to continue to distance himself, maybe get an off angle onto AJ. It pays off, the down is in, but the two members from Thunder Talk are hot on his heels.
They're still on the outside of the wall though, and with King falling, this means that nobody is forward for Thunder Talk. They're now trapped on the outside, out in the cold, and Thunder Talk are getting rinsed right now.
Rinsed indeed, but I love that angle from King. Alva to play this very, very carefully. Even if Thunder Talk wins this fight, like you said, they are in dire straits, and I really do think that's a huge oversight. This duo should have pushed up on him and taken him down. Having Alpha on that off angle, not going to. Even Silas taking too much damage for his own good.
They're crashing in on that position with the number of third parties available. Maybe a death sentence, but instead they turn over towards the dip, and it's four thrives who are eating left and right. That is nasty. The team from Pakistan is going to be eliminated very, very quickly.
Four thrives get melted off the map. You know, a team that dominated throughout group stage, struggling today. We questioned those days off throughout survival stage. Would it be helpful? Would it not? Well, for Four thrives, they need to get their legs back underneath them. But Power's also rotating in. Ragnar taking a ton of damage. We got Wild also falling. Ragnar now down. How Haji getting active. Eda's gonna fall. It's just a mass amount of teams and bodies on the ground in this area. How Haji getting the cleanup. Starkin up ahead, cooking a nade, and this nade in place right could be devastating to Power.
Darkin unleashes it over towards Badan. The bounce is good, and it will connect for the knockout. Haji now the last player alive for Power. They have 4 elims. They'll want a little bit more, and he's now got a nade cooking. They know where Eda is playing, and nobody's getting out of this dip unscathed. The nade goes long, and Darkin pushes forwards. Al-Haji around the smoke, goes for the spray, and of course he connects it. But there's the shutdown on the off angle. Fireflux shut everything down, and there is no one alive.
We just lost 3 teams just like that in one engagement. Fireflux playing spoiler. We'll talk on that in just a second. Team Secret now against Alter Egos. You called it. Caster Curse, nobody getting aggro. Well, now we got everyone getting aggro all at the same time. Krypton going to pick up Ayala over in the corner, and another team has silenced Team Secret, and Sindel packing to the next game. Weibo, Thunder Talk finally back on your screen, and well, not for long as one is taken down immediately.
PEL derby right now between Weibo and Thunder.
And then Power lapped in over the top. Fireflux were just like, this is ridiculous, guys. You need to chill out. They put them in the cooler. And it's going to maintain Power's record of getting no placement points, but they still get 5 elims on this match.
It's such a bummer, though, for Power, because Al-Haji is the last one standing. He's the champion of the team fights. 4 teams in one area, and then Fireflux says, hey, good job, buddy. I got you. Takes him right down. Either way, like you said.
And over towards Fireflux. They're going to have to think about getting out of this business, though, for the time being. They are right on the edge of the circle. They'll be safe for now. DRX have been holding out on the southwest.
Also focused on Fireflux over here in the shed. They took a little bit of damage from DRX. In fact, Redox is going to fall once again. Scarface getting some shots. Cloud onto Quiz. You mentioned it. Yang on Galactica starting to push up, but they've also taken some damage. A downed player, so they're going to have to go at it 3 strong. So we have an immense amount of fights. Falcons versus Fireflux. Yang on Galactica is going against DRX, and the winners potentially controlling the entirety of the western portion of Zone.
It's going to be really difficult to move as Falcons when Yango Galacticos or DRX are able to claim this one, but so far nobody is dead on that southwest border. All the teams there have 4 players alive, both of them maintaining the entire roster. Alpha could potentially have an impact here with Top and Seoul on the south side, but I imagine they're going to be thinking more about going east. You can see Top trying to hold face around this shelter entrance. It's just nobody making that first move right now. And they can chill out for a little bit longer with the circle. Dash out to try and find that res with only Joker left standing. They don't have a lot of time to get this one.
Currently, Yangon Galacticus have a beautiful spot where they are at. If the zone favors them on the next shift, they are going to be set up very nicely to control the end game. Of course, depending on what DRX and APG decide to do from their current position. For Falcons, they refuse to move, but now they have to start going a little bit more forward, which means E-Arena are very much ready for them. But the good news is Mormon was taken down just a little bit ago. He's down but not out, and E-Arena have to make a decision. Do we want the pickup? Well, now they don't have a choice. Sakura also got
by that blue zone. DRX on the precipice.
And it looks like Falcons, E-Arena are also popping up against each other. Joker is going to fall, so is Sakura. Fully eliminated. E-Arena are out of there, and now Falcons have a good foothold on the northern part of the zone. So really, Falcons, Yangon Galacticus in an absolute power spot, you would have to assume, unless the solo from DRX can dismantle piece by piece the Yangon Galacticus roster just up ahead. And let's not forget Scarface, another solo for Fireflux, who's going to be dead center. Falcons get blessed by zone. Yangon Galacticus now have to push up, and so does Hora.
With this zone, it keeps this little hill that you can see in front of Koa inside this zone. And you're right, they are getting blessed. But if Redox keeps going down like this, it's going to get a little bit more tenuous here on the northern side. Redox not happy. Behind the wall for Falcons to flex back out. I don't know if they can commit to this. They'd have to expend a lot of smokes. In the meantime, Yangon Galacticos, they are going to have to make a move.
Yes, they got to push forward, and there's a lot of open space. They've been hanging out next to this cave for the longest time. I don't blame them, but now the time to get active is in, and you got no start to move forward. This is going to answer our question of who takes this game. If Yangon Galacticus get mowed down now by Falcons, it is going to be all Falcons for the victory.
With Ralph moving out to the west side to go for the res onto Redox, they're actually west side bolstered right now on the Falcons roster. So Yangon Galacticos potentially picking the wrong time to go for this one. And with Hora on that side swipe, this road crossing is nigh on untraversable. As Hora actually going to try and backfill on this rotate and play on the south side. This could be a great play coming through from Hora. They'll finally get rid of Scarface, who was on a sliver of HP, and now it seems to be a two-horse race.
If I'm Falcons, I'm paying close attention to Hora starting to move up. Fireflux are now gone. We're getting deep into it. Only 4 more teams remain, and really one of them is inconsequential. It's only a solo from DRX. A mini red zone starting to form. Say Cloud trying to get back onto his feet. Smile desperately needs this. Yangon Galacticus with the desperation push forward gets picked apart. Romeo down, and it's Falcons from Koa taking him out.
A little ridgeline to play around. A couple of vehicles keeping them safe from Hora for the time being. Yangon Galacticos may be able to stay up as 2, but Smile down behind that vehicle. And that crate has been beautiful for No Fear. He's going to try and get a little bit more, though. They're putting pressure onto the Falcons because of the rotate out to the west side to deal with that res, to get Yangon Galacticos out of the mix. Hora taking the timing of this very, very well, and they get that flex out to the side, but Falcons are piecing themselves back together and out over towards Narvalo. Koa finds that retreat, and things simmer down.
No Fear has been the guy, the linchpin for the Hora roster, and now he has totally caught Redox and Ralph off guard. They know where he's at, but he still has such a great advantage. Now this rotate's going to be big, and Koa is going to knock down one. A second is also going to fall. Hora starting to collapse. No Fear needs to get active. A Hail Mary attempt, but is this Falcons? It looks to be the case. No Fear, does he have it in him to clutch this up while he continues to push up? Falcons can hit the shots needed, but they finally do it, and Falcons will get their first win during this, the grand final stage.
A big nobody challenged them.
And this crash is going quite well for Fireflux to regroup on this spot. Tony K, Joker, that's another one sent on in, and Scarface handles business. This is what we've been waiting to see from Fireflux today. They were highly performant in the survival.
Their house, they were going to hold it down. In this case, though, they don't, and they fully get wiped, and Fireflux stays up nice and strong, and they've got a great spot in the current zone. Let's see what the next one holds.
Hey, you know what? E-Arena still have the moves.
Nah, it's just simply not going to work. Another zone shift is going to take place. You notice YG, Jaeger Galacticus, still so long in the blue zone. I mentioned no fear. Well, he's currently pinned up. Sky is just a sliver of health. Rosemary desperately trying to hit the shots and does as Sky gets a bit antsy. Gunning down players, not overcommitting, but at least having a presence, keeping them in the back of their minds are their enemies. And well, we see Suki, as you said, from Sleepy from a distance. And I know Seven is loving that one.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I wonder if it was that the strength.
Falcons, Rosemary has him pinned in between, and Rosemary is a guy I do not want on my backside. He is truly devastating. We've witnessed it just a little bit earlier on Hora Esports. Now we can do it on Falcons, but Order cooking the nade, throws it out. Is it good? Well, a little bit of damage on Narvalo. Redux will answer back with his own, but it doesn't have an area effect, and Redux is very weak. Order is taking on two members from Falcons and doing it in sensational fashion.
They have that back flank as well from Rosemary. Anita is feet, and Ralph and Redox both fall, one after the other. The forward position and the middle spot for the Falcons both going down, and it looks like Weibo are actually going to be able to break through this one. With Narvalo falling, there's only one player now left standing, and Suk is on the hunt.
And I wonder if APG starts to get active in this fight too, because Doc is getting dangerously close. There's Order from a distance, trying to take down Avila, but can't. Rush from Weibo is unrelenting. Koa, the tip of the spear, to try and maybe get a couple of shots on the Order. Again, you can't really go back because you got Alter Egos, who's going to be just behind you with Alpha. You also got Weibo starting to push in, and the attack is true, but Order will fall. Suk jumps out. Koa's going to be down. Can Suk pull off the hat trick?
It's Narvalo up against them. He can clutch these. We've seen it before. And Weibo are low. It's just Suk. And around the edge with a scar, goes for the spray down, but the heel is there. And Narvalo now at a disadvantage.
Oh!
Takes the corner, takes the fight. And once more, Narvalo reverse, trying to pull a quick J-slide there. But actually, it's APG who might have given him a lifeline. He's actually down and into the road gully.
And he's dipping, he's dodging, he's swerving and moving. He's going up top to get that member of Avila. But can't get the finish, and that's going to be okay. A valiant effort. I felt Falcons from the start to the finish never really truly had a home, never truly had a legitimate route to stay safe. They were putting a lot of pressure on teams, but they were never able to establish themselves in a specific area and play for late game. That's just the way it goes. Miraculously, though, Jaeger Galacticus is doing quite well. I expected them to be eliminated a little bit earlier on, but for APG, Alter Egos, let's see how this fight ends up unfolding. Alter Egos got to do it as a duo.
Moana and Krypton have to play off one another. The circle kind of shifted away from them right now. DRX are in the center. They're by that roadside. They've got a lot of pressure outwards. Not too many threats to be sent offside whilst they have all four players alive. They've managed to rack up 7 elims, sure, but they are right with their backs to the blue zone and Power marauding around them as well.
Jeez. Yo, Top, go off, my boy. That's 2 down from Thunder Talk. Outputting the damage tremendously. I say 2 down, 1 manages to get out with his life, but just with a sliver of hell. Jing down low. I don't know if it's going to happen. Reefus, this might be a nice nade. It's cooked well. It's thrown out. Doc just below, and he'll take off a sliver of health. Not much, but keeps the pressure on Zing. You know he doesn't feel comfortable in this moment. And for APG, on a tear. They're only on 4 eliminations, but at this rate, I don't know where they're going to end up.
A little bit more damage sent over to him, but the first aid was already ticking up. He will be healed. This is the regroup coming on through. A nice drop on the smoke there. Let's just go for the weapon spot, but the ammo's already low, but they get it. Nonetheless, over the driver as well. Sitting will be taken down, and now Sing continues to be under pressure. However, they can't breach this high ground just yet. With Ida over the way, there's so much going on in this northeast quadrant.
APG holding on as they tried to take over the high ground over Fireflux. We've watched Fireflux and APG go toe-to-toe with each other. Fireflux look to be on their wits end, but they managed to get their teammates back up, and in fact, this secondary fight looks great. Scarface, let's do it, boy. Continue to push up, get the downs while 1 comes in, but he's going to be traded out. Metcalf, though, he's truly devastating, but APG answers back, but only for a matter of time.
Burn hits the deck just in time to avoid the spray down. And Thundertalk keep the pressure on with Darkin falling. That's going to slow Ida down. Going to have to force that res out. Darkin not really in a safe spot with the blue zone pushing in 15 seconds. Not a lot of time to operate here. Aaron
thought about it. Do I go for the res? Do I go for the challenge? Well, Jing throws a nade. This could be 2, and it's close enough. Aaron takes some damage. Another one starts to go in, but it's going to be a little bit too far. And now for Aaron, really the last hope for Ida. Potentially another one to, I don't know, output some damage, but all eyes on Aaron in the moment. It is amazing. Thunder Talk has put up this much of a fight. They're towards the bottom. They desperately need points to elevate themselves towards the top 5 running, but 4 eliminations, their best game we have seen so far, and it could get even better.
Looks like Aaron will go down last. And Ida, very down on their luck. Now it's just Emery who was across the way, disengaged from that fight for the longest time. Finally, one of the power players gets taken away from this, and Easy on the forefront will need a little bit of a rescue mission from the rest of the team. Not going to be easy, and actually it's Ragnar who gets caught on the sidelines. So Easy able to find that shot, and DRX now starting to come alive here. They've been in this compound for the longest time, and they want to try and inflict pain now onto the rest of the circle, but Al-Haji is still on the hunt.
Yes, he is. For Ragnar's sake, though, I think he tried to get a little bit too fancy on the off angle, and it ended up being his undoing, and, well, he loses his life in the meantime. For Power, though, they look great. DRX is the only team, though, who is left alive with 4 members, but Power's positioning is great. They're hitting wonderful shots, but you gotta appreciate DRX able to utilize this low ground, this little divot. They're gonna be devastating. Power, it's gonna be hard to knock DRX off of this spot.
Yangon Galacticos as well on that northern side. Going to be difficult to navigate there. You've got solos on every single side of the circle, and right now the most dangerous one is probably Loxy on that southwest edge for Regnum Kaya.
I would say so. Loxy can be devastating. Say Cloud, though, hits a nice shot, and that's going to be 2 from Power, dropping off, and the chances of making it to top 3 to the podium now ends. But as you said it best, they do get some placement points, so there is a positive for Emery. He tried his best to stay alive, but DRX takes him out without any drama whatsoever. We're now down to our top 3.
Okay, this should be a free win for DRX right now. They've been able to hold this compound for so long. It's 2 solos, and neither of the solos are in this next circle. They've got control of the hillside. They're in overexposed positions. So Easy goes down, and that is going to be a nice pickup, actually. Hang on a minute.
Very nice.
I said it should be a free win. Hang on a minute. We're just getting word that I lied. I lied to you.
Well, let's see what ends up happening. The pickup might be able to come through. We mentioned Loxy as well, right? Ragnar Karya, he's going to be potentially devastating. And both players, right, from Yangon Galacticus as well as Loxy from Regnum Karya, they're going to be pincering in this DRX roster. Looks to be a beautiful nade. I believe it does connect just a little bit. Here comes DRX. Now, I don't want them to get too aggressive here. They now have 2 players down low, and, well, overexposing yourself to say Cloud might be a reason why these solos could take a win.
Say Cloud has a brilliant sideswipe here, right? You can see that ridge line that rolls down the hill away from Hyunbin. That is what Say Cloud is playing on. So Hyunbin flexing down this way. I really like this idea. Loxy should be taken care of by the blue zone. That will just sort of conclude itself here.
Yep.
And Say Cloud, sure, he might have the sideline swipe, but the center of the circle is still under control for DRX, and they do manage to keep things together, right? It's not going to get too spicy out here in the open, and he will fall down. DRX closes down.
A little bit of contested towards El Pozo. Might see the same thing here as, well, Smile tends to drop out, and I think he's going to take over that southern portion. It took a little bit of time before they finally ended up in contention with Hora as well as Falcons up there towards El Pozo. But it's the mad dash with the vehicles, and that's where you start seeing the heavy points of contention, especially between Hora and Falcons, who are very close to each other already as they glide through the air.
North side circle pops as the plane exits our screen, Tokyo Drift style, in the 45 degrees, as we are going to be heading up again to a more northern area. So this time it's going to be a little bit more west than we had last time around. La Cobreria, Crater Fields, that area around water treatment, all of those hills will be misses. Now they'll know he's up on high. Noki now with a chance to turn things around, but more nades are cooking.
Oh,
this is the
nice.
last one in the pocket from Beanie, and IQ has to dodge it. Will be able to survive, except Y on the off angle doesn't quite connect on it either. So Nongshim Red Force not really getting too much with the opening salvo. That one's good though, and a chance now for Nongshim to take this thing to control.
T24 on the ground alongside that of Phallic. You've got to appreciate the high ground from Benny. He's not going to relinquish that. He's going to be truly the linchpin in the success, at least I assume, in this fight, in this engagement. IQ's down and out. No way he's going to get back up, and in fact, he's going to be fully finished off. 4 thrives to one good thing they do have going for them is they have Wolfpack together. So any players from Nongshim Red Force, if they push it as a solo, you'd have to assume you're going to be shot by 3 people at the same exact time. T24 Phallic got to hold the low ground though. XCY pushing in. Tizzy starting to also get active. T24 takes some damage. In fact, outputs some damage off of Tizzy. Doc going in. T24 down. Benny drops down from his high ground. Takes a little bit of damage, but through the smoke, hits the shot needed to drop Naki. 4 thrives are out.
Once more, 4 thrives full, and Nongshim Red Force keeping all 4 of their players alive there. It got a little bit hairy with T20 very soon. Alter Ego actually potentially under threat now for DRX. I said around minute 8 for Yangon Galacticos. That has now passed. That's a hard northeast shift. They're going to have to go a long, long way. Mouth shouldn't pose too much of a worry for them. The hillsides will keep them safe. Take a look at the replay. Okay, little spin out in the open, catches the rear tire, a nice little pick goes.
And he will eventually be dropped, and Hora is gone. I got a question: if they don't go for the 2-2 split, do they survive? If they're not focused on 3 teams simultaneously, would they have better luck? Well, we'll never know, unfortunately. Riyadh Galacticos finally pushing into the aggressive Ragnar Karia, who are getting taken down, running on fumes. 2 players down and out. Ragnar Karia most likely going to be finished off in this moment. Only 1 player remains, and I don't see him currently. Actually, he's going to be a solo for the remainder of this game.
Yangon Galacticos can keep up pace now. They have 2 elims on the scorecard, and they will be 4 players alive after this res. Boxing will be flushed fairly soon, so a couple more points to be added to their tally in just a moment. Close by to DRX's duo. On the north side of this one, on the south edge, it's still Power. With 4 players alive, they're going to try and navigate their way on in around Weibo, who also have 4 players alive, but sending the buggy to the air, don't need that anymore, throws it aside, but instead they're going to take to the rubber sole or the boot and see if they can take the shots over towards Weibo.
You go back to the last game, Ragnar was trying to get these crazy off angles. He ends up getting punished this time around, not making that same mistake. He sticks with the full force shooting of Power. Great shots from Easy, but better shots from Order from a distance.
Able to shut down that hilltop, and this is go signal. They're going to crash straight on into this. Nice and aggressive, decisive play from Weibo. They're trying to encircle now the rest of Power. They know their backline's going to be fumbling, going to be faltering a little bit. We'll see if they can take control of it. 33C, maybe a little bit overinvested here, as Weibo trying to connect onto Power. Will finally be able to find that second knock, and they can continue to run this one through. Sook is down, but this should be resible. Fadan doesn't have the pace on this.
Fadan, he throws bounces off the wall, manages to get away without burning himself. Fadan pushing up onto he. Now he needs to get here quickly. If he can get the finish before the res is in, it's going to be a 1v1, but the res will come through. You'd have to assume very quickly. He refuses to commit, playing it safe, but maybe playing it a bit too safe, and now Weibo able to recover.
Teams are starting to drop like flies. We're down to 8 now, and I'm sure there's a couple more ready and waiting to go. A lot of solos still playing on into this one. Weibo playing 2v1 on the inside. Fadan is the last player to stand here for Power Esports. They've got 1 elim. And again, they are guaranteed a placement here with 8 teams remaining. But we'll see how much further they can go. The pump action, not going to be good enough. The DVS wins the day. Weibo can stay up as 4 players.
There's value in playing passive, and what Fadan did wasn't necessarily wrong. However, you know you're last alive. Fully commit. There's it down in front of you. It's a 1v1. Swinging that choke point, swinging that angle is tough. I understand, but you just got to go for it. And if he would have, of course, he doesn't have X-ray vision, but if he would have, he most likely would have got the cleanup and been successful in that fight. And I can even say the same thing going to Nongshim Red Force side of things with Benny. A little bit earlier in the day, there was a moment where I felt he needed to get aggressive, but he was just too undecisive, and because of that undecisiveness, he gets taken down. So there is power in being aggressive and full sending it, but he made the play that he made. Again, it wasn't necessarily wrong, but if he would have been aggressive, he most likely would have been able to win that fight and potentially even get the last remaining member up.
Alpha could really go some distance in this match. With APG putting pressure over towards DRX, the last remaining player for Alter Ego could sneak through the cracks potentially. Could be a bit of a wild card on that east side flank. Weibo playing as 4, they're all the way on the other side on the southwest. Yango Galacticos, they're behind APG's engagement on the north side. So not really too many massive threats on the east edge. Alpha actually gonna get a supply crate looted up as well. As Orta, oh no, spotted. Weibo using an off angle there, and very, very isolated from the rest of the roster. Gets caught unawares.
Still not a bad spot, though, for Weibo. Keeping Yangon Galacticus in check. APG, great spot overlooking DRX and Team Secret, which, let's highlight them, right? Team Secret, even though they only have a solo last alive, they did such a great job dismantling Horda a little bit earlier, 4 eliminations going their way. And the solo of Treg staying up is just huge, in my opinion. They should not be alive in this moment. They should not be fighting for a potential top 3 finish. But APG forced to go forward, and now DRX, who were being hunted down from APG, now could potentially gatekeep them. They play this right, they could win this fight, but it's not going to be easy because they don't have the man advantage.
Kyunbin taken very, very low with a nade, cooked nicely just to get the knock, but they'll know there's a player on the inside there now. An APG with 4 players are wary of their south edge, but I don't imagine they expect Alva to be on this loot crate right now. Just trying to stay alive for Alter Ego. APG very reluctant actually to push all the way through this one.
It's tough. It's tough for DRX. I mean, because you know DRX is right in front, and they've got a great spot. Alva, I wonder if he gets a bit mixy. He's stayed alive for the longest time, and he's going to be able to take a peek over at Doc if he chooses to fire. But I think for him, he just wants to keep his head low and just go for top 3 if he possibly can. Aaron Fermita is going to be fully finished off. Fermita out in 6th place. We're now down to our top 5. Things are starting to get spicy. APG on the move. DRX need to be ready.
Kyunbin first to face, finally Alva is dispatched, and that's going to open up the flank there. With top going down, looks like they want to commit for this res, potentially very, very dangerous out in the open. I don't think you want to make this one work. So easy now with the SKS on the red dot. Okay, a little bit lackluster on the weaponry there potentially, but so easy. Only has his teammate Kyunbin there. Crawling away, they could look for this res, but I think Yango Galacticos aren't going to allow that one to happen.
Soez can truly help Yangon Galacticus in this moment, who are starting to come in. They're starting to close the vice grip, and if Soez can take any members from APG down, that's only going to help the win for the side of Yangon Galacticus. Soez will not be successful. Doc will win the fight, and it will be APG with a 4-man unit against the 4-man unit of Yangon Galacticus. Meanwhile, for Weibo, most likely getting finished off very, very shortly. You got one player who's going to be down. Yangon Galacticus going full send to victory.
They want this top spot to close out day 1. 2 players fall at their feet. A smile just about threading the bullets either side of him, able to dodge them, and Seoul goes down next. A spray down over towards Doc, and that is going to be it. It's curtains for Alpha Gaming. 3rd place in a pretty brutal fashion on the northeast side now. 2 players, sorry, just 1 player from Weibo to stand in the way of Yangon Galacticos. They will be up and over 60 points on the match. A beautiful result for them. Their day has been stellar. DRX as well.
But for sure, some positions in center positions have been favored for sure as these circles have bared down.